All right, let's dive into Memberstack developers. So you have this awesome idea for a membership website. It's exclusive content, a community, maybe even online courses. And Memberstack's the perfect tool, right, to bring it to life. But finding a developer, it can be a little tricky.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, luckily, we're here to help you figure that out. Before we go any further, I have to tell you about theperfectdeveloper.com. They've got this really cool quiz. It's called the 5 Questions, and it helps you figure out what kind of developer you need. Think of it as a dating app, but for finding the perfect developer. Seriously, go check it out. Now let's get back to Memberstack. So we know it lets us add membership features without needing to write code. Why is finding a specialist Memberstack developer so important? Couldn't any web developer handle it?
Yeah, you could. But it's kind of like, imagine you asked a chef who specializes in sushi to bake a wedding cake. They might be able to do it, but it's probably not going to be as good. A Memberstack developer, they know the platform inside and out. They understand the nuances and how to create a secure experience for your members.
Got it. So it's about more than just adding a membership form to a website.
Right. It's about creating a system that handles different membership levels. It controls access to specific content, integrates with your payment gateway, and it protects user data.
That makes sense. So when I'm looking at a portfolio, what should I be looking for? That screams Memberstack expert.
Yeah, absolutely. A great Memberstack portfolio shows more than just pretty websites. Look for projects where they've built complex membership structures, maybe different benefits, or integrations with other tools.
Okay, cool. Now let's talk about cost. How much is this going to cost?
Yeah, so it is a significant investment.
Yeah.
But there is a wide range depending on what you need.
Yeah, walk me through the options. What are the different ways I can hire someone?
You've got freelancers. They're great for smaller projects. You can find some great freelance talent on platforms like theperfectdeveloper.com.
Oh, there it is.
Then you've got agencies. They're ideal for larger, more complex projects. And then, of course, there's hiring someone full-time, which gives you the most control, but is the most expensive.
So I'm basically choosing between short-term help or more long-term.
Yeah, basically. Each option has pros and cons.
Right. So, okay, let's say I've figured out my budget. How do I actually find these Memberstack developers?
Well, there are some great platforms out there that specialize in connecting businesses with tech talent.
Like theperfectdeveloper.com.
Exactly. They vet developers to make sure they have the skills they claim.
Nice.
They also have those resources like the 5 Questions quiz to help you refine your search.
That makes things easier.
Yeah, it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it.
Cool. So once I've found some promising candidates, what's next?
Well, then the real work begins. You have to vet their expertise and make sure they're the right fit for your project.
Okay, so let's talk about that then. How do I make sure they really know what they're doing?
Right, yeah. That's a great question. We can jump into that now. So you want to look for those subtle clues, those things that separate the good from the great. When you're looking at portfolios, don't just look at the visuals. Dig a little deeper. Has the developer done things like integrating Memberstack with a learning management system or implemented complex user roles? Those are signs that they can handle the intricacies of your project.
Okay, yeah. So look for evidence that they've really worked with Memberstack's more advanced features.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask questions like, tell me about a time you had to troubleshoot a Memberstack integration. That'll tell you a lot about their problem-solving skills.
Right. I think a lot of people, though, might feel intimidated asking technical questions.
Yeah, I get that. But remember, this is a big investment. A skilled Memberstack developer will be able to explain those technical details to you, even if you don't have a coding background. If they can't, that's a red flag.
So being able to communicate clearly is important.
Absolutely. Another crucial aspect is security. You want to ask about their approach to safeguarding user data. Do they use strong authentication methods? Are they familiar with the best practices for preventing vulnerability?
Right, it's like making sure your house has a good security system.
Exactly. You want to make sure your members' data is safe.
Okay, so let's say I've found my Memberstack developer. What are some tips for making sure the project runs smoothly?
Well, first things first, you need to define the scope of work. This document will outline every detail of the project: features, functionalities, design, timeline, and budget. It's basically the blueprint for your membership site.
So it's like a roadmap to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Exactly. And remember, building a membership site is a collaboration. Don't be afraid to ask questions and give feedback. The more you communicate, the better the outcome.
So communication is key.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you also mentioned ongoing maintenance. which is crucial for any website, especially membership sites.
Right, because launching the site is just the beginning.
Exactly. It's like owning a car. You wouldn't just drive it off the lot. And never get an oil change. Your membership site needs regular maintenance to make sure it stays secure and runs smoothly.
So what does maintenance usually involve?
It involves a range of tasks, from security updates to fixing bugs to adding new features. You'll want to discuss this with your developer up front and factor in the costs.
So I need someone who can keep things running smoothly.
Exactly. A good Memberstack developer will not only build your site, but will also be your long-term partner.
That makes sense. So speaking of the future, what are some trends you're seeing in Memberstack development?
One thing that's really interesting is the shift towards hyper-personalization and community building. Users want more than just content. They want to feel like they belong.
So it's like moving from a library to a social club.
Yeah, exactly. And Memberstack developers are at the forefront of this evolution. They're building features that create more engagement, like interactive forums and personalized learning.
That's really cool.
It is.
It sounds like the role of a Memberstack developer is becoming even more important.
It definitely is.
Okay, this has been super helpful. But for our listeners who are still feeling a little overwhelmed, what's the one thing you want them to remember?
I think the most important thing is that building a successful membership site is about finding the right partner, someone who understands your vision. Invest the time to find a skilled developer, someone who communicates well, and is passionate about what they do. If you do that, you'll be well on your way to creating something amazing.
Great advice. And remember, if you're struggling to find that perfect developer, theperfectdeveloper.com is a great resource. Their 5 questions quiz can really help you narrow down your search. It's like having a matchmaking service for developers. Seriously, check it out. Okay, so we've talked about finding the right developer, vetting their experience, and even touched on the future of membership sites. But now let's talk about the business side of things. What are some common mistakes that you see businesses making when it comes to Memberstack development?
Well, I think one of the biggest mistakes is underestimating how complex it can be. To build a really good membership site, it's easy to get excited about the idea and rush into it without a plan.
So it's not as easy as just saying, hey, build me a membership site, and then everything magically works out.
Right. You need to plan carefully, you need to communicate clearly, and really understand your audience.
Okay, that makes sense.
What else?
Another common mistake is neglecting the ongoing maintenance. A lot of businesses only budget for the initial build, and then they don't have the resources when they need to update things or fix bugs.
Got it. So it's not something you can just set and forget.
Nope, not at all.
Any other advice for businesses using Memberstack?
Yeah, don't be afraid to invest in quality. Your Memberstack developer is building your online community. Choosing the right person can make a huge difference.
Yeah, it's like building a house. You need a strong foundation.
Exactly. And again, resources like theperfectdeveloper.com can help you find those top-tier developers.
Awesome. Well, this has been really insightful. Thank you so much for joining us. My pleasure.
And for everyone listening, if you're ready to start building your membership site, head over to theperfectdeveloper.com and try their 5 questions quiz. It's a great way to find the perfect developer for your project. Until next time, happy building.